Public affairs programming on Look TV is underwritten by the generous support of Pinnell's Restaurant, classic Italian American food since 1922, and Stored Tech, technology solutions for computers, networks, and phone. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
1922, Babe Ruth debuts with the Yankees. WGY signs on air. Exterminator wins the Saratoga Cup, and Pinnell's Restaurant opens its doors for the very first time. For 5 generations, Pinnell's has been preparing delicious Italian food, served in a comfortable, home-like setting where everyone is welcome. 90 years of authentic Italian recipes, 90 years of the freshest ingredients, and 90 years of the finest classic Italian dishes, all made daily by hand. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga dining tradition since 1922.
Most cybersecurity firms deal only with prevention, the systems that block hackers and viruses. Stored Tech knows the root cause is actually good people doing bad things. So we offer a security training program which includes certifying all participants to show they understand the basics.
Technology solutions for computers, networks, and phones. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
The Saratoga City Council meeting, an inside look at the decisions that affect you and our community.
Okay, good evening. It's 6:55, and we're going to get started with the public hearing. But I think before we start, I just want to say that Mayor Kelly and Commissioner Madigan won't be here tonight, so you're stuck with 3 of us. I'm sure we'll all do a good job. So I think what we like to do is we'd like to start with the first public hearing, and that's to amend the capital budget for 12 land purchase caterers. In the 2012, the city budgeted $30,000 for a grant from Saratoga County. Ultimately, $23,000 was received and used toward this land's purchase. This budget amendment will be to correct the capital budget amount so the amount budgeted matches the amount received. It is a decrease in the amount of $6,500. And we will close the public hearing tonight after the item on the agenda is voted on, or after we speak. So if anybody would like to speak in favor of that or against that, we'll give it a couple minutes. I don't see anybody jumping up.
Go to the next one.
Okay. Second public hearing is to amend the capital budget for the Saratoga Greenbelt Trail Downtown Connector. In 2017, $78,500 from the Parkland Reserve was approved and budgeted for the Saratoga Greenbelt Trail. The Director of Finance recently informed us that this reserve was overcommitted and these funds are no longer available. The Director recommended the use of the Recreation Trust as a replacement, and we will be presenting this tonight. So if anybody would like to speak in regards to that at the public hearing. Again, we're amending the capital budget for the Saratoga Greenbelt Trail Downtown Connector. I don't see anybody jumping up for that one. Okay. All right, we'll move on to the...
Closing that, correct?
We're going to close, yeah, we will be closing that one tonight. Yep. Oh, let's look at this. Thank you, Tilly. It's official now. All right. The third public hearing is to amend Chapter 225 for alternate street side parking on Birch Street. And I believe I'm going to turn that over to Commissioner Martin.
Thank you, Commissioner. Having received several notices from concerned residents on Birch Street that the street is very narrow and currently allows for parking on both sides of the street, which may at times obstruct traffic, and particularly the concern is if it were to obstruct emergency vehicles. We are proposing to amend Chapter 225 of the City Code, alternate side of the street parking, to add Birch Street to those streets that has alternate side of the street parking. we will be closing this public hearing after this.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Would anybody like to speak in regards to that? That's the alternate side street parking on Birch Street. Okay, nobody speak on that one? Then we'll move on to the next public hearing. And that's for the Liberty Affordable Housing. And I'm going to turn that one over to Commissioner Frank.
Thank you, Commissioner Scirocco. I just want to briefly announce that at the July 2nd City Council meeting, Art Loomis of Liberty Affordable Housing was here and advised the Danger Species part of the seeker had been completed and the report would be issued on July 8th. However, that report has not been completed yet and is expected to be completed in the near future. So we will be keeping this this open into the next meeting.
Okay, if anybody would like to speak in regards to Liberty Housing, Affordable Liberty Housing. We're going to be leaving that one open.
We're going to leave
right?
that open, Commissioner, yes.
We got probably about 1 minute, so we're going to leave it open for about a minute.
Picked a good one to come to, huh, Al?
Okay, the public hearings are completed, and I'm going to call the meeting to order. At this time, I'd like to ask the secretary for roll call.
Commissioner Frank?
Present.
Commissioner Scirocco?
Here.
And Commissioner Martin?
Here.
Everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we're going to have our regular public comment period. We're going to have it for 15 minutes. And I have asked everybody to keep your comments brief, up to 2 minutes. And there'll be a bell that will sound when your 2 minutes are up. So anybody would like to speak in the public comment for whatever item they want to speak on. I think you have to turn that, just pull that little, yes. Just state your name and your address.
Alan
please.
Turkheimer, 158 Woodlawn. I just have 3 items here I'd like to make you aware of, and hopefully somebody will take some action on this. The homeless population, which has an origin of where nobody knows, should have a census be taken, because not all of these people are from Saratoga Springs. This is not only our problem, but should be a countywide situation. The mental health facility on South Broadway should have had a dormitory for easy access for mental and medical help for these people, because without that, you're not going to get anywhere. Does anybody know, or I notice both our supervisors are not here tonight, but I think this is not only our problem, but it's a county problem. My second thing is the Rec Commission collecting money, the $5 charge on the Maple Avenue parking. I think we should fund the Rec Commission fully and not do this type of collections, because we've had problems in this city about cash flowing. It never gets to the right place. And the third one is about Spectrum. Do we have anybody here who's in charge of franchises? Because Spectrum charges $59.95 for an installation of cable in your house, even if you're wired. If you don't question that charge and you do the installation, it's still on your bill. And I think a lot of people in this town are being fleeced. Not only there, but they also charge you $5 now, or try to charge you $5 to enroll in their automatic pay. So I called, I don't know who's in charge of franchising, I never got a call back.
Thank you.
Hi, Darlene McGraw. I live at 15A4 Jefferson Terrace. I'm sorry to both you guys and the community, but I've been stuck working at City Council days. I wanted to discuss what I had to say. I'm sorry if people take it the wrong way, but I have a few things to say. This is the city of Saratoga Springs. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. You guys are elected officials. We elected you to the positions, and your job never ends. It's open 365 days a year. It's not open just for track season. I should not have to be spending a majority, like 75% of my time, trying to contact city officials and explaining to you guys some of the problems. Why are we now just getting the roads all blacktopped? Because we're trying to show off for the visitors for track season. That's basically what I can contend out of this. We're trying to act like a show off. We gotta stop doing that. We got us, people that live here all year round. Stop acting like a darn show off. Okay, that's number one. Number two, parking. Birch Street is one street. But over here in these areas, we got a lot of people with disabilities, people that are older, seniors, that get help. You know, they have an aide that has a certain amount of time that they can, help them. And their aides need to be able to park close by. But when track season's here, there's no space. So when I came here to speak with people with the city, they're like, well, we can give you a handicap parking permit for your aide. They don't need a handicap parking permit. They're fully able and capable to walk and go to and from a parking space. It's not necessarily that they need an accessible spot. They need a spot that's close by so they don't have to walk a mile to get to their client's home. That's one of the problems. Housing and all of that, a lot of people are coming from Schenectady. You guys don't want to take a ride on the bus with me? Come on.
Time's up, Darlene.
Yeah, well, take a ride with me. Stop showing off, Skip.
Anybody else? Okay, then we're going to close the public hearing.
Could we comment on?
Oh, yeah,
some
yes,
of
yes. Anybody would like to comment?
I'll just have, I have two comments. One is with respect to the first item that Mr. Turkheimer mentioned, and I just want to say I could not agree more. This homeless, the issues that we have with respect to the increased homeless population are more than just city issues. They are county issues. They are region issues. They are state issues. And we certainly need the resources and the help of all of these other governmental units if we're going to be able to adequately address these in Saratoga Springs. I 100% agree with Mr. Turkheimer on that. With respect to the second item that Ms. McGraw raised concerning parking, what I'd like to point out is we actually are intending to take action to assist with the parking in this area here, which will affect the Franklin and the Vanderbilt terraces. And that is, we will be acquiring additional land for a parking lot in this area, and that should take some of the pressure off of the on-street parking in around the terraces. So it's not a perfect answer. The answer, there is no perfect answer for the fact that parking demand exceeds parking supply in many parts of the town, but we're working on it, and in this area here, we have a plan. Yeah, that's all I need to say.
Any other comments? No? Okay. All right, so tonight there are no presentations. There is no executive sessions. And therefore, okay, I move for that the council approve the consent agenda as described with the agenda. And this is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? Matter passes. Okay, moving on to the mayor's agenda. The first item on the mayor's agenda is appointment of a design review commission. The mayor is reappointing Steve Rowland to the Design Review Commission. Steve has completed a one-year term as an alternate. With this appointment, he will remain with the commission for a full 2-year term as an alternate, running from 7/1/19 through 6/30/21. Steve has several years of experience with design review, and we are pleased to have him continue as a seasoned board member. And again, thank you, Steve, for your commitment to public service. The second item on the mayor's agenda is, again, it's an announcement. It's a public forum, Saratoga Artscape, Lindsay Connors Community Development. I don't know if Lindsay's even here, but the objective of the forum is to obtain feedback from the public regarding the design and scope of the proposed public art project, Saratoga Artscape, along Railroad Run. It will be held on Wednesday, July 24th at 6 p.m. here at the Recreation Center. During the forum, staff and our partners at the Capital District Arts Center will provide updates regarding the planning process. Third item on the mayor's agenda is discussion and vote to accept the grant award from AARP for the Henry Street demonstration project by authorizing mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding with a new vendor form and W-9. The city's Planning and Economic Development Department has been awarded an $8,000 grant to AARP Community Challenge Grant Program for the Henry Street Pilot Project. And then again, there's no matching requirement. The Henry Street Pilot Project consists of a 2-week demonstration project in downtown Saratoga Springs to showcase and evaluate the merits and impacts of installing a contraflow cycle track and converting a 2-way street into a 1-way traffic on Henry Street. Therefore, I move the City Council accept the grant award from AARP for the Henry Street demonstration project by authorizing the mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding, new vendor form, and W-9 as included with the agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say no. Any abstentions? Matter passes. Fourth item on the mayor's agenda is discussion and vote. Authorization for the mayor to sign an application for the National Endowment of the Arts, Our Town grant. Our Town is the National Endowments for the Arts Creative Placemaking Grants Program. Grants applications require a partnership between a local government entity and a nonprofit arts organization. The Office of Planning and Economic Development proposes to submit an application in partnership with the Capital District Arts Center to support Phase 1 of the Saratoga Artscape public art installations along Railroad Run. $50,000 will be requested and a 1-for-1 match is required. This commitment is not required at the time of application. Funding for the match is anticipated to be sourced from a private foundation grant. Therefore, I move that the City Council authorize the mayor to sign an application for the National Endowments of the Arts of the Our Town grant as described with the agenda, and this is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes. The next two items on the capital budget amendments that correspond with the two public hearings previously discussed. Number 5, the discussion and vote, a capital budget amendment for Saratoga Greenbelt Trail Downtown Connector number 1252 in the amount of $78,500. Again, we just closed a public hearing for this item. As a reminder, the capital budget will not increase nor decrease. The funding source is being changed. Therefore, I move that the City Council approve a capital budget amendment for Saratoga Greenbelt Trail Downtown Connector number 1252 in the amount of $78,500 as described with the agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes. Sixth item on the mayor's agenda, discussion and vote, capital budget amendment for 12 land purchase Cateros, number 1194 in the amount of $6,500 decrease. We also closed the public hearing tonight for this item. The budget amendment is to correct the capital budget amount so the amount budgeted matches the amount received. It is a decrease in the amount of $6,500. What did I do?
We're going to probably pull that because we don't have four. Because later on Commissioner Madigan's, since it's a.
You have to do her agenda first.
And we don't have four people here because it has to be a super majority.
Okay,
So
yep.
I think at this time we'll just have the commissioner pull the mayor's item there,
Yep.
and we'll
So
pull it
we're
on
good.
ours also.
Okay, so we'll be pulling item number 6 off the mayor's agenda.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Do we, which, 26, do we need to pull 5? Because
No,
that's
five, as
That's
Jessica
6.
said, no increase, no decrease. There's no change to the program. It's when you increase it or decrease it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be number 6.
Do we need to do roll
6 on
call
the agenda.
on
Yes.
number 5? No?
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Thank you.
Number 7, discussion and vote, extension of time for the planning board advisory opinion for the Wesley PUD amendment, PB number 201-90935. The Saratoga Board has been asked to issue an advisory opinion to the City Council for proposed amendments to the plan unit development that governs the Wesley, our local nursing home and assisted living community. The Planning Board voted unanimously to request a second extension in the amount of 60 days to provide this advisory. A 30-day extension was requested and granted at 6/18/19, a City Council meeting. Therefore, I move that the City Council approve a 60-day extension of the time for the Planning Board advisory regarding Wesley Planning Unit Development Amendment, PB number 201-90935, as described with the agenda. This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes. 8th item on the agenda, mayor's agenda, is to set a public hearing for the 2020-2025 capital program. The capital committee has been working on its recommendations since March and is ready to set the required public hearings. The first one will be on Tuesday, August 6th, and the second one will be on August 20th. And there's no concerns or questions, and I guess that concludes the mayor's
Do you
agenda.
think we need 5 or 10 minutes with all the hearings?
What do you need? What do you need?
I would say probably at least 10 minutes for the capital program to go through
Those two
it.
will have Liberty, and Commissioner Martin's going to be doing a couple. We'll do 6:50 on the first night, and we'll set the time, maybe 6:55 for the second night.
Okay. So 10 minutes, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Okay, that concludes the mayor's agenda. We'll move on to the Commissioner Frank and the accounts agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner. The first item is discussion and vote. Authorization to pay invoice number 18022.10 to the Architectural Collaborative for DPW garage loss in the amount of $6,841.50. This invoice is for internal design of 211 Division Street. Therefore, I move to approve payment number 18022.10 to the Architectural Collaborative in the amount of $6,841.50 for 211 Division Street. That's a motion.
So motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes.
Thank you, Commissioner. Second item is for award of bid, City Hall renovations, owners, rep, construction manager. Upon the recommendation of Department of Public Works, I move to award the bid for City Hall renovation, owners, representative, construction manager to CHA Consulting, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $106,600. It's a motion.
This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes.
Thank you, Commissioner. The third item is award of bid, extension of bid HVAC. Upon the recommendation of Department of Public Works, I move to extend the award of bid HVAC services to BPI Mechanical Services, Inc. for the Department of Public Works for an additional year under the same terms, conditions, and prices. And this is a motion.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes.
Thank you, Commissioner. With Commissioner Madigan not here this evening, she asked if I could read the finance agenda for these.
We'll move on to the finance agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner. The first item is discussion and vote authorization for mayor to sign an IT service agreement. As distributed by the Deputy Commissioner of Finance, this is a service agreement related to IT security. Therefore, I request your approval for the mayor to sign the IT service agreement as distributed by the Deputy Commissioner of Finance. This is a motion.
So motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any discussion? All opposed say no. Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes.
Thank you, Commissioner. The second item we're going to pull, because we only have 3 members, and this would need at least a 4/5 vote. And we discussed this earlier when you pulled this from the mayor's agenda relating to the 12 land purchase caterer. So I'm going to go to item number 3. Discussion and vote rescind prior use reserve resolution of 7517 Parkland Reserve for Saratoga Greenbelt Trail Downtown Connector. This resolution will rescind the July 5th, 2017 use of Parkland Reserve for Saratoga Greenbelt Trail Downtown Connector project. This is necessary because reserve funds were overcommitted. Therefore, I request your approval of rescind prior use of reserve resolution of July 5th, 2017 Parkland Reserve for Saratoga Greenbelt Trail Downtown Connector as previously distributed with this agenda. This is a motion.
This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? Matter passes.
Thank you, Commissioner. The fourth item is discussion and vote use of reserve resolution subdivision recreation trust Saratoga Greenbelt Trail Downtown Connector. This resolution will authorize the use of the subdivision recreation trust for the Saratoga Greenbelt Trail Downtown Connector project in the amount of $78,500. This is to replace the Parkland Reserve funds rescinded earlier tonight on the finance agenda. Therefore, I request your approval of the use of reserve resolution subdivision recreation trust Saratoga Greenbelt Trail Downtown Connector as previously distributed with this agenda. This is a motion.
This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Any abstention? The matter passes.
Thank you, Commissioner. The fifth item is discussion and vote budget amendment, use of restricted fund balance subdivision recreation trust. Lines 1 and 2 will amend the debt service budget so subdivision recreation trust funds can be transferred to the capital fund in the amount of $78,500 for the subdivision recreation trust for the Saratoga Greenbelt Trail Downtown Connector project. This was the subject of a public hearing, discussion and vote to amend capital budget on the mayor's agenda earlier this evening. Therefore, I request your approval of the budget amendment, use of restricted fund balance subdivision recreation trust as previously distributed with the agenda. This is a motion.
It's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes.
Thank you, Commissioner. The last item is discussion and vote budget transfers payroll. Lines 1 through 8 to cover payroll-related expenses through year-end for DPW. Lines 9 through 14 are to cover salary expenses while an employee was on leave and for part-time assistance in the finance office. Lines 15 through 18 are to purchase a new server for scanned documents. Therefore, I request your approval of the budget transfers. Payroll is previously distributed with the agenda. This is a motion.
It's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstention? The matter passes.
Thank you, Commissioner. That concludes the Finance Department's agenda for this evening.
Thank you, Commissioner.
1922, Babe Ruth debuts with the Yankees. WGY signs on air. Exterminator wins the Saratoga Cup, and Pennell's Restaurant opens its doors for the very first time. For 5 generations, Pennell's has been preparing delicious Italian food, served in a comfortable, home-like setting where everyone is welcome. 90 years of authentic Italian recipes, 90 years of the freshest ingredients, and 90 years of the finest classic Italian dishes, all made daily by hand. Pennell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga dining tradition since 1922.
Most cybersecurity firms deal only with prevention, the systems that block hackers and viruses. Stored Tech knows the root cause is actually good people doing bad things. So we offer a security training program which includes certifying all participants to show they understand the basics.
Technology solutions for computers, networks, and phones. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
On to Public Works. That will be my agenda. The first item on my agenda is discussion and vote. Authorization for the mayor to sign addendum number 1 with Surpass Chemical Company for the water treatment plant. The first 4 items on the agenda, on my agenda, are the addendums to the chemical contract for the water treatment plant. The original contracts were equally divided between fiscal year 2019 and 2020. However, more chemicals are used during the summer months due to the volume of water usage. Therefore, an addendum was needed to increase the contract amounts for fiscal year 2019. This addendum will with Surpass is to increase the contract amount for the fiscal year 2019 not to exceed $35,000. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign addendum number 1 in the amount not to exceed $35,000 with Surpass Chemical Company for the water treatment plant chemicals, and I put that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes. Second item on my agenda is discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign addendum number 1 with Amrex Chemical Company for the water treatment plant chemicals. This addendum with Amrex is to increase the contract amount for fiscal year 2019 not to exceed $10,000. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign addendum 1 with Amrex Chemical Company in the amount not to exceed $10,000 for the water treatment plant chemicals, and that's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? Matter passes. Item number 3, discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign addendum number 1 with Facey and Beshoff LLC for the water treatment plant chemicals. The addendum with Facey and Beshoff is to increase the contract amount for fiscal year 2019 not to exceed $3,400. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign addendum number 1 in the amount not to exceed $3,400 with Facey and Beshoff LLC for the water treatment plant chemicals, and I put that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a second? You want a second? Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes. Fourth item on my agenda is discussion and vote. Authorization for the mayor to sign addendum number 1 with Holland Company for the water treatment plant chemicals. The addendum with Holland is to increase the contract amount for fiscal year 2019 not to exceed $38,000. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign addendum 1 with Holland Company Incorporated in the amount of $38,000 for the water treatment plant chemicals, and I put that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes. Okay. Fifth item on my agenda is discussion and vote, approval to pay invoice with Amrex Chemical Company in the amount of $7,716 for the water treatment plant chemicals. Therefore, I move to pay invoice number 200839 in the amount of $7,716.10 to Amtrak Chemical Company Incorporated for water treatment plant chemicals, and I put that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstention? Matter passes. Sixth item on my agenda is approval to pay invoice with Holland Company in the amount of $5,839.39 for the water treatment plant chemicals. Therefore, I move for approval to pay invoice number 17166 in the amount of $5,839.39 with Holland Company Incorporated for water treatment plant chemicals, and I put that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstention? The matter passes. Number 7 is discussion and vote, approval to pay invoice number 8 through 11 to MJ Engineering and Land Surveying PC for the Route 9 Cateros Nelson Avenue Water Main Upgrade Phase 1. When engineering services were bid for the Route 9 portion of Route 9 Cateros and Nelson Avenue Water Replacement Project, M&J Engineering was the lowest bidder and provided an hourly rate of $95 per hour for construction observation services. DOT required full-time inspection of any work in their right-of-way, which resulted in $98,602.50 in construction observation costs for this project. This request for approval to pay invoices 8, 9, 10, and 11 from MJ Engineering is the result of not having an addendum in place to cover the costs associated with construction observation services. Once it was determined that full-time inspection was required by DOT and inspection hours were known, an addendum should have been created and submitted for construction observation. This was the responsibility of the city engineer, but was not completed following contract approval on March 20th, 2018. It was also not completed in February 2019 when M&J Engineering was contacted and informed by the city engineer that construction observation services were not included in their contract. As a result, these invoices need to be paid as construction observation services were provided by MJ Engineering as required by DOT. Please note that the next item on my agenda is an addendum for construction observation services to MJ Engineering for Phase 2 of the project on Caterham and Nelson Avenues to prevent this issue from happening again. Therefore, I move for approval to pay invoice 8, 9, 10, and 11 in a total amount of $98,602.50 to M&J Engineering and Land Surveying PC for the Route 9 Caterham Nelson Avenue water main Phase 1, and they put that in form of motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstention? The matter passes. Okay, get to my next one now. Number 8 on my agenda, discussion and vote, authorization for the mayor to sign an agreement with M&J Engineering and Land Surveying PC for the professional engineering design services on Caterham West and Nelson Avenue water main upgrade project, Phase 2. This addendum with M&J Engineering is for additional contract administration and construction inspection services for Phase 2 in the amount not to exceed $90,200. The original engineering contract executed between the city and M&J included design and construction administration services only. Construction inspection services were not included. Therefore, I authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with M&J Engineering and Land Surveying PC for professional engineering design services on the Caterham West and Nelson Avenue water main upgrade project, Phase 2, in the amount of $90,200, and I put that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstention? The matter passes. Number 9 on my agenda is discussion and vote, authorization for the mayor to sign change order number 2 with Bellamy Construction Company Incorporated for the Route 9 Caterham Nelson Avenue water main upgrade Phase 1. This change order 2 adjusts the contract price to account for the unforeseen soil conditions and the resulting rock drilling required to properly install the new water main. The change order also reflects unforeseen DOT traffic control requirements for the duration of the project. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign change order 2 with Bellamy Construction in the amount of $89,521.44 for the Route 9 Caterham Nelson Avenue water main upgrade Phase 1, and they put that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. The matter passes. Move on to number 10. Discussion and vote. Authorization for the mayor to sign change order number 2 with Trinity Construction for the credit of $1,638.11, and also a time extension on the Nelson Avenue Drainage Improvement Phase 5 project. This change order with Trinity is the result of a deduction in the contract price of $3,125 for removing items 23 from the contract and an increase in the contract price of $1,486.89 for a repair of an unmarked water service at 16 Gridley Street. And finally, time extension for the final payment to 9/27/2019. Therefore, that equals the $1,638.11. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign change order number 2 with Trinity Construction for a credit of $1,638.11 and the time extension on the Nelson Avenue Drainage Improvement Phase 5 project, and I put that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstention? The matter passes. Item 11, discussion and vote. Authorization for the mayor to sign an agreement with BPI Mechanical Services for the HVAC services. This agreement provides all HVAC services for the commercial-size heating and air conditioning units to all city buildings that are under the responsibility of the Commissioner of Public Works. Therefore, I move to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with BPI Mechanical Services for the HVAC services in the amount not to exceed an hourly rate according to the bid proposal. And I put that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstention? The matter passes. Okay. get on to my last item. The 12th item on the agenda is discussion and vote, authorization for the mayor to sign an agreement with CHA Consulting Incorporated for the City Hall renovation construction management. This agreement with CHA, that's Clef Harbor Associates, Consulting Incorporated, in the amount of $106,600 is for the owner, representative, and construction management of the City Hall renovation project. CHA was not the lowest bidder, however, but they do have local experience with projects of similar size and complexity. And I just want to remind the public that they were the ones who did the Adelphi. That was over a $40 million project. So, you know, ours pales in comparison to that. But I think we did have a conversation with them, a nice meeting with them, and I'm sure that they'll do good by the city. So that's why we chose them. Therefore, I move for the mayor to sign an agreement with CHA Consulting in the amount of $106,600 for the owner, representative, and construction management for the City Hall, and to put that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes. And that concludes my agenda, and we'll move on to Commissioner Martin and Public Safety.
Thank you, Commissioner. The first item on my agenda is a discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with BPI Mechanical Services, Inc. This is a contract for the plumbing services in the portion of City Hall that is under the control of the Department of Public Safety. This is a renewal of an annual contract, and it's in the amount of $5,000. Therefore, I move that the council authorize the mayor to sign a professional services contract with BPI Mechanical Services, Inc. for plumbing services. This is a motion.
This is a motion. Any discussion? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstention? The matter passes.
The next item on my agenda is discussion and vote authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with BPI Mechanical Services, Inc. for HVAC services. Again, this is an extension of a bid for services. The professional service contracts with BPI are used with the Department of Public Safety for those portions of City Hall that are under our control on an as-needed basis. This is also a contract for up to $5,000. Therefore, I move that the council authorize the mayor to sign a professional services contract with BPI Mechanical Services, Inc. for HVAC services. This is a motion.
This is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes.
The next item on my agenda is an announcement. The next meeting of the Saratoga Springs Citizen Advisory Board will be held on Monday, July 29, here at the Rec Center in the council room. All are welcome to attend. The next item on my agenda is a discussion and a vote to amend Chapter 225 of the City Code for Vehicles and Traffic with respect to parking on Birch Street. This is, as we had discussed previously, Birch Street is a narrow street, and two sides of the street parking creates dangerous congestion and problems. Therefore, I move that the council amend Chapter 225 of the City Code, Vehicle and Traffic, to reflect the changes as distributed to the council. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstention? The matter passes.
The next item on my agenda is to set a public hearing. This public hearing will be to amend Chapter 225 of the City Code with respect to parking on Israel Lane. This will be a public hearing to consider restricted parking on both sides of Israel Lane for the first 100 feet from its intersection with Division Street. And so, Lisa, I guess we'll put that in the same. 650. Very good. I would like to add two items at the table. The first would be I'd like to add a discussion and vote concerning the authorization for the mayor to sign a revenue contract with New York Racing Association. I need to add this item to my agenda this evening. It was not previously included due to our department's oversight. It is time sensitive as racing season is upon us, and these items pertain to payments from NYRA to the city. So therefore, I would move that I be authorized to add this item at the table.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes.
Thank you. So this is a discussion and vote for the authorization for the mayor to sign a revenue contract with New York Racing Association. Every year, New York Racing Association makes payments to the city as a result of the coverage of our fire personnel and equipment. This year, the city will receive $98,149.32. Therefore, I move that the mayor be authorized to sign a revenue contract with the New York Racing Association in the amount of $98,149.32. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstention? The matter passes.
The next item on my agenda is I'd like to add another item to my agenda, and this is to be able to set a public hearing to amend Chapter 163 of the City Code with respect to pedal buses concerning the fingerprinting of pedal bus owners and operators. I need to add this item on my agenda tonight. We were awaiting the outcome of a meeting that was held just this afternoon to determine if this would be required, and we determined that it is. So therefore, I move that the City Council approve the addition of an item to my agenda entitled Set Public Hearing to amend Chapter 163 of the City Code, pedal buses, with respect to fingerprinting of pedal bus operators and owners. This is a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Any abstentions? The matter passes.
Thank you. Okay, so therefore, now on to my item. I'd like to set a public hearing to amend Chapter 163 of the City Code, pedal buses, with respect to fingerprinting of pedal bus operators and owners. The purpose here is just to have consistency and streamline the process of fingerprinting so that we're using the same processes as we use with taxi cab hacks, the drivers. Lisa, $650. And that is the end of my agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner. I don't see either one of the supervisors here tonight, so I get a motion to adjourn.
I would so move.
Yes. Second?
Second.
Means adjourn.
Thank you.
Public Affairs programming on Look TV is underwritten by the generous support of Pinnell's Restaurant, classic Italian American food since 1922, and Stored Tech, technology solutions for computers, networks, and phone. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
1922, Babe Ruth debuts with the Yankees. WGY signs on air. Exterminator wins the Saratoga Cup, and Pinnell's Restaurant opens its doors for the very first time. For 5 generations, Pinnell's has been preparing delicious Italian food, served in a comfortable, home-like setting where everyone is welcome. 90 years of authentic Italian recipes, 90 years of the freshest ingredients, and 90 years of the finest classic Italian dishes, all made daily by hand. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga dining tradition since 1922.
Most cybersecurity firms deal only with prevention, the systems that block hackers and viruses. Stored Tech knows the root cause is actually good people doing bad things. So we offer a security training program which includes certifying all participants to show they understand the basics.
Technology solutions for computers, networks, and phones. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.